day, everybody. Once again, it's a beautiful time, a beautiful week starting. I hope that wherever it is you are in the world, you're off to a great start of your week. I want to inspire you as you begin your week not to settle. Don't settle. Why would you want to settle for less? And I know as I ask that question, I myself have been in situations in my life when I have been feeling very stretched, drained over specific matters, looking like the weight has overpassed its and overshot its timing, and things don't seem to be lining up in the way that you expected, in the ways that I desired, in the ways that I hoped for. And sometimes you're waiting for rain, and when you look out, you don't even see a cloud, and you start to wonder, maybe was I crazy to expect rain? Maybe I should just go and dig a well instead. Maybe I should craft my own, evaporation system and harvest water for myself. When people are tired of the wait, more often than not, they settle. They settle for less. You find that sometimes you have a dream, you have a passion about a particular craft or art or skill or innovation or idea, and you're so sold out to it. You believe in it without a shadow of doubt. You even know why you should be doing this thing. But over and over and over and over again, you try this thing, it doesn't seem to work, and you settle for less. You take an alternative. You start to convince yourself of another approach, of another thing that looks like it. You actually downgrade your expectations so that you can then attract what is possible in your eyes. The people who are waiting to have a child, and sometimes even when I'm working with people or interacting with people and they share some of the expectations they have, some people, a couple could be waiting on God for a child. It's been a year, 2 years, 3 years, and in the third year, 3 years looks like 30 years. They feel like it's so long. When you're waiting for something, it looks like it's very, very long. There's a saying in English, an English proverb. I don't know if English have proverbs, but an English saying that says, a watched kettle never boils. Sometimes it only takes 10 minutes for water to boil in a kettle. But if you stand there waiting for the kettle to boil, it looks like forever. It looks like it's not boiling. So you find that maybe in this instance of a couple waiting for a child, 3 years could look like a lifetime. They may be frustrated at their end that they just give up on the entire idea and the possibility of ever having a child. And what do? They start to convince themselves, maybe we were not meant to be parents. Maybe our path was through adoption. Maybe we need to, there are many homeless children in the world that need love. Yes, that's true. But is that your path? Is that the direction that was ordained for you? Are you settling? Have you given up? All right. I see people who are waiting for the right spouse. Both genders. A man waiting for a wife, woman, trusting for a husband. And there's certain expectations. You're very clear about what it is that you want. And I'm not talking about superficial things. She has to be, 42 inches hips. I don't know what size bust, what length of hair. I'm not talking about superficial things, even though the physical is important. But I'm talking about the essence of the people that are right for you as a marriage partner. The kind of person your heart beats for and is longing for. Somebody who's aligned to your vision, common values, who can be a partner in the journey of life, a destiny helper. But you know what those requirements and desires are. But after waiting just a little while, a year could look like 10 years. A year of trusting every single day and praying about it every single day could end up being and feeling in the spirit and in the physical like 10 years. And you start to think, maybe what I'm expecting is really not possible. Maybe my standards are too high. Maybe my expectations are unrealistic. And you start to drop that desire of what is truly what you should be going for. And you start to settle for anything. You say, after all, he or she's a kind person. After all, I think I can make them. They kind of have some of the things that I'm thinking about. And you settle settling is costly, because ahead it will, bite. It will bite, right? I just want to encourage you as you begin your week. All the things that you're trusting for, you've applied for a job in a specific sector, in a specific industry, and you know that you call to that industry, you know the value you have for that industry, you know what it is you want to do, you know the value you can add, but it's not coming, and then you finally convince yourself that after all, you are crazy. After all, it's not such a big deal. After all, you can shift into another sector altogether, and you could actually get an opportunity. And I'm not by any means undermining the opportunity to deal with financial pressures that we deal with, and the opportunity to take some things in the interim to be able to meet our financial goals. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you could take the interim solutions while keeping your eye on the big goal, on where it is you need to go. So in that instance, you're not settling. You're just on a journey towards where you need to go. But there are people who completely kill the dream, settle for something totally different, and pack it and they move. Now you live a life where you're dead on the inside and you look like you're alive on the outside. I was having a meeting a couple of weeks ago with a couple, and a couple, I'd say in their midlife, they're progressed a bit in life, and this couple was an amazing couple, and I just asked them, how did you meet? And the gentleman told me that after dating for almost 12 or so years, and having almost tried to date or to look, at options, over 30 to 40 options. You know how many those are? He actually just said, maybe it's not possible to get the woman who has shared value, shared dreams, shared goals. And he was just like, my expectation, I think, is too crazy. And then, luckily for him, his brother told him, don't settle, don't reduce your expectations, because that heartbeat, the one that you're looking for, that woman, the one who's aligned to you, still exists. And actually, in that same year, he met his wife. She's every single thing that he was looking for. I was with both of them, and they're truly, truly aligned, truly having shared values, shared vision. They complement each other. They have a common understanding on each other's purposes, on their common purpose as a couple. It's just amazing. And the lady, she told me her side of the story, having been divorced, come out of a very toxic relationship, 4 children, living in the basement of her mother's house, and 10 years in, imagine that. And asking herself, who will want to marry a woman who has got 4 children? Who? She actually told herself, is it even possible? And guess what? There was somebody waiting for her. 10 years in that situation. And this man came along, and he is every single thing. These are now global players. Their lives turned around, and they found each other, and they're the source of inspiration from each other and for each other. So I said, don't settle. If this man had settled, he probably would not have met this woman. He probably would have, settled for any of the 30, 40 options that were coming his way in the 12 years he was waiting. 12. As for her, it was year after year after year battling and challenging through life. Her life had cracked. It had gone down. She was divorced, 10 children, in the basement of her mother's house. Yeah. So I want to say, keep your dream alive. Don't settle. If that is a job that you dreamt to have, keep at it. Keep going. Keep growing. Keep skilling yourself. Keep believing in yourself. Keep speaking the things that you want. Don't settle. Even as you're in the journey towards that ideal goal, don't lose sight of that ideal goal. Don't be comfortable where you are. Don't settle. Keep going. Don't settle. So I hope that you'll take some of these lessons and do really have an inspiring week ahead. When I look at my favorite stories in the Bible, Abraham, 20-something plus years, waiting, in his old age after the promise was given to him for a son. His wife Sarah, way past her delivery age, and still waiting. Of course, when you settle, you get the counterfeit. And my prayer for each and every one of you is that you will not settle for the counterfeit, what looks like, but is not. So don't settle. Get off to a brilliant start. Have clarity, have the confidence, be inspired that what is really meant for you in all aspects, whether it's work, your financial goals, your marital goals, your relationships, your strategies, your dreams, they are valid. Don't settle. Keep going. Have a blessed week.